The Panthers' biggest fear has come true. 3 weeks into the regular season, Bryce Young is already injured. Isn't that something? You know, we were all trying to figure out how Bryce Young was going to hold up and how long was it going to be until he ends up having to miss time. Well, it only took 3 weeks. He's unlikely to play against Seattle due to an ankle injury. And let's just be honest about this. It was only a matter of time before he had to miss some time due to injury. I mean, he was getting smacked around in the preseason by the New York Giants. He got a clothesline from hell, JBL style from Kayvon Thibodeau. He was getting tossed around by the New York Jets. He was getting thrown around by the New Orleans Saints. He got sacked 4 times in that game. They were getting after him all Monday night. And even against the Falcons, the offensive line played terribly. Bryce Young getting injured is no surprise to me. It's just a major disappointment about how the Carolina Panthers have gone about building their team around Bryce Young. No true number 1 wide receiver. They don't have a good offensive line. The play calling looks terrible. Are you really surprised that Bryce Young got injured this early? Because after I saw what was happening to him during the preseason, I figured he was going to get injured sooner rather than later. I mean, the Carolina Panthers, man, just are a complete mess. And for Bryce Young, I'm not going to call this dude a bust. I still believe in Bryce Young. He hasn't looked like the Bryce Young that I saw on film against Alabama. But I think a large reason for that is due to the fact that the Carolina Panthers are just a terrible situation. I thought that him going to Carolina was a great place for him to land. You have Frank Wright, a former quarterback in this league, an experienced head coach who's led a team to the playoffs before, has a winning record as a head coach. He had a really good coaching staff, and this coaching staff, you know, they look really bad right now. They're in a division that has coaches such as Dennis Allen, Todd Bowles, who are not considered to be that good. And then you got Arthur Smith, who kind of is in a prove-it year. And yet, all 3 of those coaches look better than Frank Wright and the Carolina Panthers coaching staff. And I thought that this team was going to be able to win the NFC South. You know, I was a damn fool for picking Carolina to win the NFC South. They can't even protect their number 1 overall pick. The dude is already built like a damn preschooler. You know this man's body is not built to sustain taking the amount of damage that he's been taking for not just the first 3 weeks into this year, but even into the preseason. These hits add up. It's not like the preseason doesn't matter. It's not like the hits don't hurt the same as they do in the regular season. They all add up. I mean, when you got somebody that's built like a preschooler and wet sandpaper, what do you expect? He's getting clobbered back there, man. People are going back there looking forward at the opportunity to sack Bryce Young to make him look like a practice dummy, man. I can't believe the Carolina Panthers have allowed this to happen to their franchise quarterback. This is unfreaking believable. Right now, I'm looking at the Carolina Panthers really fucking disgusted. I don't want to hear anything about, oh, it's too early into the season, rookie growing pains. Fuck that, man. You see Bryce Young back there? He's getting effed up. He's already injured. Come on, man. Injuries were already a big concern with him. So what did the Carolina Panthers do to ensure that he can stay healthy? I guess teach the offensive line to forget how to block. This is not the same offensive line that we saw last season when they nearly won this division under Steve Wilkes. The Panthers continue to show us why they are one of the worst franchises in the NFL. They're 0-2. They're possibly going to fall to 0-3. Bryce Young gets injured. The offensive line sucks. They got no run game. They don't have any consistent wide receivers that get open. This is just a complete mess. And like I said yesterday, this is a disastrous situation that Bryce Young is in. I thought that he was going to get into a good situation. CJ Stroud is balling. At least his situation is a little bit better than Carolina's. His offensive line is crappy too, but not as bad as the Panthers. Bryce Young has an ankle injury, is kept him out of practice for the last 2 days, and the Panthers organization doesn't expect him to suit up against the Seahawks. Really, really disappointing about what has happened to Bryce Young this early into his rookie season, man.